You're not even Salvadoran, so be quiet. Those are some of the comments I got on the last video that I posted. Here's a summary. You're not Salvadoran. You don't live there. You're not from there. Nobody cares about your opinion because you're an extranjera, you're a foreigner. Okay. I would have been Salvadoran if my family hadn't decided to leave due to intolerable conditions. I would have been Salvadoran if my grandmother hadn't chosen to leave in the early 1980s due to economic conditions. And mind you, she studied. She went to school, she finished high school in the 70s, studied to become an executive assistant or a secretary, whatever you want to call it. But she saw opportunities taken away from her. So she ended up in the United States, cleaning up the houses of rich people and watching over their kids. I would have been Salvadoran if my mother hadn't chosen to leave when she was 16 due to the war. I had to grow up listening to her stories about the war, watching her tense up when there were fireworks going off, and listening to stories about dead bodies on the street and dumpsters, about the poverty that they had to go through due to the economic conditions caused by that war. When I told my mom that I got a job as a professor, the first thing she told me was, "Esos son los primeros que matan." Those are the first people they kill. She didn't say congratulations or I'm proud of you. That's a whole other issue for my therapist, but that is the reason why I'm not Salvadoran. She said those things to me because she saw it happen. She saw her teachers being taken away with their heads covered in a bag, being put in the back of a truck by the military. For those of you asking when was the last time I went, well, the last time I went was in 2021. Bukele was already president, right? Because that's when my grandfather was killed by a marero after he decided to stop paying rent through that extortion. The extortion could have been handled or should have been handled by Arena or by FMLN or by Bukele's Nuevas Ideas, but it wasn't. The pattern continues. So because I'm not Salvadoran, because I'm Salvadoran American, because of the love that I had for my family, my people, and the life that was taken from them, I decided to go do a PhD so I could fully understand it. A lot of people like to talk shit because I have a degree in an interdisciplinary ethnic studies area, but that's where I needed to be to do the work that I needed to do, to find out why. Why are my people here? Why are Salvadorans in the US? Why are my people day drunk at fucking MacArthur Park in Pico Union in Los Angeles? Why are my people here in Belmont Craig in Chicago beating on their wives? Why are my people out here in Washington, D.C. watching the kids of these politicians who no sooner would send their ass back to El Salvador? Why? I couldn't rest without knowing why. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't live without knowing why. And that is why I did my PhD. By the way, it's linked in my bio. You can read it for free. So yes, I'm not Salvadoran. I'm Salvadoran American. And let me tell you this. It comes from a